Welcome on to Complete Notary Mentorship. How are we doing today, family? Thanks for joining us. Another great session and another great expert interview with the one and only Tiffanee Brinkman. Tiffanee, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Can I ask, where are you tuning in from?
Detroit, Michigan.
Nice, Detroit, Michigan. If we got any Michigan fam in the house, drop it in the chat. Let Tiffanee know you are also in there. She's not only a field inspector, she's also a notary. So she's going to teach us how she went from supplementing her income to maximizing it with field inspections. And we're going to get started with this conversation right now. Stay till the end. We're going to do live Q&A with Tiffanee, so you can ask her any questions about her own journey. And we're also going to give you a freebie for this session. So at the end of the session, I'm going to drop a link as a gift from me to you. And I made 7 tips from Tiffanee that I took away that I think will help you maximize your income. So I have a checklist of 7 things you can do to make sure you gain the highest payout when it comes to field inspections. So let's get started. Tiffanee, we've talked about field inspections before on this community, but I'd love to know, what's your own definition of what field inspections are?
We're basically the eyes and ears of mortgage companies, loan companies, insurance companies. We're the boots on the ground. We're out here trying to just check the status of properties that they have taken possession of.
I think that's a really great explanation. You're on the ground, you're the eyes and the ears, you're checking out what's going on with these assets that either a mortgage company owns, a bank owns, someone wants to check on their property. They're not going on foot, so they're paying people to go on foot for them. Is that right?
Yes.
Nice. And Tiffanee, how did you get started with field inspections?
Well, I had COVID and I was trying to break away from property management, sitting in the office every day, all day. I like to have my freedom. So I was looking into things that I could do from home or, wherever I go. So I actually stumbled across loan signings. So I saw that we had to become a notary in order to do the loan signing. So I became a notary. Then I started to do a lot of research. And then I saw field inspections. So yes, I started the research and I never looked back.
So you went in looking to supplement your income, get away from a full-time job of property management. You have so much experience with property management, and I know COVID took a turn for a lot of us, our personal lives and our businesses. So you found loan signings, just like a lot of us on this call here. And then into that, you heard about field inspections. You did your own in-depth research, which is what you're here to share with us today. You did the research, so we don't have to as hard. What is one of the things when you were researching that you were looking into to make you feel confident that field inspections was right for you?
Basically, I was looking for something that I could do on my own free time. So seeing that I could do inspections, I have like a due date 10 days from now. So I can do it whenever I feel like it. I can take 2 or 3 days off if I feel like it. I can go early in the morning if I feel like it, in the evening. So that was important when I was researching, if I could find something that I could do whenever I needed.
Nice. That sounds so flexible for your own schedule. And can I ask, Tiffanee, fast forward from when you learned about field inspections, you doing them, how much are you making now doing field inspections per month?
Okay, can I go from what I was making first and then what I'm making now?
I'd love to hear that growth. So draw out how your growth has increased since you took on field inspections and mastered it.
Okay, so the number one thing that people feel scared about when they do field inspections or when they hear about field inspections is the price. So when I first started, I didn't know any better. So I was taking on inspections for $4. $4. But now, a year plus later, I can make anywhere from $25 for 5 minutes of my time to $150, maybe $175, because there's room to wiggle some prices around. You don't always have to settle for the first offer that you're given. So yeah, it is much better now. I took the $4 experience. I learned from that, and I took it with me to make more money.
So you took those $4 appointments starting out. You were just getting started. You're like, of course, I'll take those $4, not knowing the potential growth that you had coming a year later. And now instead of $4 appointments, you're taking on appointments that are paying you out anywhere from $25 to $150, doing the same exact thing you're doing for $4.
Yes, yes.
Wow. I like
Yeah.
what you called that, the $4 experience. And,
Mhm.
and that's a great way to put it. Start taking those smaller ones so you can gain the experience, and don't focus so hard on just searching for $25 ones when you're starting out.
Yeah, you definitely want to get the experience whenever you can, because a lot of people are scared to just start.
Yeah.
So just go ahead, it may be $6, it may be $7, but never travel too far, like for a cheap price. Just make sure you have your like areas and things put in there, so you'll be in your neighborhood or wherever you want to travel. Because I went around the block for $8, like 2 or 3 blocks over for one picture. So you can make $8 for 30 seconds of your time. Yeah, I'll take it.
And now with that kind of volume and that kind of knowledge, how much are you making per month with field inspections?
Well, it's different every month. The most that I have made in one month is $10,000. The most I've made in one week is like $3,500. But I put in a lot of work.
Love it. And everyone on this call, if you're willing to put in that work, you can do what Tiffanee has done. Tiffanee shows you it's possible. She's showing you exactly how she started, and within a year, she's already making maximum $10,000 a month doing these field inspections, and in a week, $3,500. I hope that's clicking for everyone, that these $4, these $6 has potential. And Tiffanee, can you tell us, that company that you were doing $4 an appointment for, how much are they paying you now?
Well, I'm not working with them anymore. I just took my experience and moved forward. But
Nice.
they were trying to offer me $10. But they offered, like, if you do see like the smaller amounts, most times they offer in bulk. So you could get 1,000 properties per month. They like to use the same people because they will have to train people all over again, so they'll continue to give you the same houses. I've done multiple houses, like 5 or 6 months in a row. So if you do see low prices, take them, because you can make it up in bulk.
Nice. Thanks for that fire tip. I hope everyone just heard what she says, because that's something we haven't heard on this call yet. You can get assignments in bulk. If you're consistently showing up for a company, you can absolutely work and build that relationship enough to ask them, hey, I've been taking a lot of these assignments. Do you have any in bulk I could take care of for you? We'll talk a little bit more about that soon. I want to break down now the types of inspections, because Tiffanee said she's not just doing one company. She's definitely working, putting in the work. So let's talk about what putting in the work looks like, Tiffanee. How can you put in the work? What are the things you can know to be a successful field inspection agent?
Well, you pretty much want to study each type of inspection, so that way it's not taking a lot of time. The first few inspections that you do, it'll take some time because it's a whole new business, it's a whole new experience. And then you want to learn the apps that the companies use, or you want to learn, because sometimes you can print out a page and you complete the report like that, and then you upload it back into the system. So you really just want to learn the systems and make sure you're doing everything correctly and on time. Being on time is so important.
So being on time is important. Being knowledgeable about that company's process or software or app, just being knowledgeable on how they like their work done. And then also your accuracy of your reports. So I love, those are 3 ways that everyone on this call can maximize their opportunities of getting more and better quality field inspections and payouts with the company. So everyone, I hope you got those 3. It's learn the system that you're with. Every single field inspection company has their own contracts, has their own instructions, has their own website and process. None are the same. So get familiar with who you're working with, be on time. Due dates are so important for these field inspections. That's like the one thing they ask of for you is to be on time. They give you that time frame, and we'll talk about how you can ensure you're on time. And last, accuracy. Make sure you're doing what they ask of you. They lay out the rules for you. They lay out exactly what they're asking for. So pay attention to detail. Now, what are the 2 main categories of field inspections that I should be knowledgeable about?
Mostly residential and commercial, exterior and interior.
So we got 2 categories. We have residential, commercial, and then we have interior and exterior field inspections. When I'm starting out, Tiffanee, as a brand new field inspector, I've never done one before. What do you suggest is the easiest type of field inspection to get started with?
Exterior, no contact. Those are perfect. If you can get a bulk of those, you will love it because you absolutely make no contact at all whatsoever. You can literally sit in your car, but you just make sure you don't have the side of your car in the photo because they will not pay you. You want to be paid for your services. So you can literally just zoom out, take pictures of the house, the address, things like that. And just make sure no parts of the car is in there.
Nice. So you want to ensure you're giving the company that you're working with quality photos because they're giving that to their client that owns that asset. So if they're asking you for a picture of the house, they want to feel like you got out to take a picture of the house. But Tiffanee, you're saying sometimes you don't even get out of the car. You're able to get that same view without stepping out of your car. So how fast today are you able to do those exteriors?
I can do it in 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute if my service is, lagging a little bit, but I'll just 1 minute tops. And then you're off around to the next block because you put in your area. So now you have properties in your area. So you go block to block, or like I can drive 2 to 3 minutes away. So I can complete 20 in an hour because it's all in the same neighborhood.
Awesome. And can I ask, how many are you assigning yourself a day because you do this full time? So how many average assignments do you take a day?
Maybe about 25 now.
Nice. About 25 now. And are you taking those photos with your phone camera or a special kind of camera?
With my phone. But you also can, if you do have just a regular camera, you can use that as well and just upload it onto the computer.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Tiffanee. And let's talk about interior. So once we mastered the exterior, we get comfortable going to the field inspections. What do interior inspections look like? What are some kind of assignments I can expect when it comes to interior?
They're all pretty much the same. You walk through the property, take 2 to 3 pictures of each room. You want to make sure the ceiling, the floors are all incorporated into the photos. And they may ask some questions. Is the hot water tank there? Or, things like that. Has it been winterized? They ask like the bare minimum questions. So yeah, it's really basic. Like it's simple. You just taking a couple pictures and moving right along.
Tiffanee, I am no handyman, nor do I fix things in the house. So I don't even know where to look for the water heater. Do they point you in the right direction? Do they give you examples? What if I'm not too knowledgeable on how to maintenance the house? How do you know where to go, what to take pictures of?
Okay, so I did have a situation where I didn't know what a sump pump was. So I just Googled it. Most times they won't like tell you exactly where something is because they already expect you to know. So a simple Google will help you out a lot if you aren't familiar with something in specific.
Nice. So there's no excuses for anyone on this call. If you get a field inspection, you don't know what a certain piece of the property is, if it's interior, inspection. You can always Google it, look up what that tool or that product looks like, where to find it in a house or on the product that you're looking at. For example, it's not just a house, it could be an RV, a boat inspection,
Yeah.
insurance inspection, business verification. There's so many things. And typically you won't find things you don't know. But if you do, like Tiffanee said, she just went ahead and Googled it and was able to find where it was in the photo of it. So let's talk about what kind of, like, what are some tips you have for certain type of inspections? So for example, I see commonly auto loan inspections. So an inspection for a vehicle. What can we expect from those kinds of inspections?
You're literally just taking pictures of like the vehicle. So if they're behind on some payments, the company will send you out with the letter. They want you to post the letter on the door, take a picture of that. But for the most part, you're just taking pictures around the car, the front, the back, the side. It's very simple.
Nice. And business verifications, why do you like those kinds of inspections?
They pay a bit more and they're pretty easy. So if I go and verify a business, it's usually for like a credit card company or like the SBA. They might have a loan with the SBA and they want to just make sure the business is legit, it's open, it's functioning, it's running, it's no scam. So we are the eyes to make sure it's not a scam.
And I'd love to comment on what I see in the chat right now. Dunn, thanks for asking. Is that not trespassing? So I've actually went ahead and done fields inspection so I can bring back that knowledge to you all. And I went ahead and did a business verification. It tells you in the instructions, you make an appointment with the business owner. So if you're not trespassing, it'll tell you when you need to make an appointment with someone you need to verify their business or do an inspection with where the owner needs to be there. And it was a really simple field inspection. It had about 40 questions. It took about 30 minutes of my time. And it asked questions like, take a picture of the locked cabinet. Does their computer have a password? Take a picture of the workstation. Does it look like this business doesn't do what they say they do? Really simple questions and I got to be another business owner. And guess what? He was really happy that I got to work with him, made it simple. And you're able to, have a small conversation, but get the work done in an easy $20 plus distance pay as well. So really great question. It's not trespassing. They'll do their best, the field inspection company, to help you have a successful assignment and make the business owner feel comfortable. So I like how you explained there's no contact assignments and contact assignments. What would you have to say to a potential field inspector on here who's a little bit scared for those contact assignments?
The contact is just simply knocking on the door and just saying, hey, contact your mortgage company. And then they also do have like insurance companies where they may be trying to start a new policy or something, and the insurance company wants you to come out and verify that the property is in good condition. So you just call and say, hey, I'm with such and such company. It's really easy, especially if you are a good communicator. You're not afraid to speak to people. But if you are afraid to speak to people, no contact is the way to go.
Love it. So everyone has an option on here. You're looking not to make any contact. There's an option out there for you. And if you are comfortable making contact, they gave me a script word for word, what to say, how to book it. And they tell you exactly what to say and what not to say. It's very simple to follow. So if you can follow a script like you've been doing on our trainings, you can definitely do field inspections. So let's talk about rush order alerts. Like loan signings, sometimes they could come in last minute and the client needs them ASAP. Do we see that with field inspections?
Yes, absolutely. You can get $25 to $30 more for a rush order if it's like a business verification, but like a regular exterior, maybe $5 more, something like that. So you definitely want to take a rush order because you get paid much more.
So you're feeding into that urgency, right? They need that client done. They have a deadline coming up. No one's taken it yet. It sounds like that gives you room to negotiate that payout.
Yes.
Nice. And there's another opportunity to make more money, which is distance pay. What is distance pay? And is that common on field inspections?
Yeah, so that's what I talked about earlier about your area that you're in, your neighborhood. You tell them where you want to work. They may have some properties, 20 or 30 properties an hour away. So you get paid your regular fee plus an out of area fee. And also some companies pay mileage. So that's three ways to make money for one type of inspection.
Nice. And typically, if it's an hour out, Tiffany, how much would you ask for distance pay if it was an hour away for you?
So okay, one time I did 2 hours away. So they paid me 25 per house. Then they paid me another 25 per house for the distance.
So you turned that 25 per house into 45 per or $50 per
50.
house.
Yes.
Wow. And how many assignments did you take out in that area?
About one. No, I think it was 19.
Wow. So if everyone can do the math for me, 19 times 50 in one day. And that was just 2 hours out of her way. So that is a huge opportunity to supplement your income, and also an opportunity if you're marketing out there, make some money back with if you're going out to a new area to market your notary business, your loan signing business, take some field inspections on the way or in that area. Definitely, we've had Tina Scott talk about how she maximizes her routes and her times. So that is a really great tip. So it sounds like the easiest way to get started is exteriors. It takes about six, maybe maximum 6 to 7 photos, sometimes less, and no contact. Which type of assignments do you see the most? So you're on these different apps or these different companies. What's the most common type of fields inspection you see available?
Exteriors.
Nice.
And
So
they're usually like the mortgage companies because like somebody might fall behind on their mortgage payment. So they're basically sending us out there to just make sure the property isn't burned, it isn't vandalized, it isn't just left open, so we're just making sure because they haven't heard from the mortgager.
great. And if it's an interior, what kind of clients typically are those, or why are there so many different interior ones?
Those are mortgage companies as well. So a lot of the inspection companies also do property preservation. So they'll send us in because, the contractors can say, oh, well, it's $50,000. And they're just going to be like, okay, we can't do anything. So, so they send us out just to make sure because contractors can be a little bit sneaky. So
Nice. So you're doing a favor potentially for both parties, the one that's preserving it or the person who's looking to buy it. Now, a question I have is if we want to build relationships and hire our relationship with a company, what are ways to do that with the fields inspection company?
to build relationships,
Yes. So I know
do
some of
everything
them,
on time.
everything on time. And then some of
Yes.
them I've had an account manager or someone text me. How can I utilize and leverage that access to an account manager?
So they love it when you're easily accessible. You answer the phone, you answer emails. So if they have something that's due immediately, like the rush order, if you do a rush order, they love you because they are desperate. They have to meet a deadline just as well as we do. So doing favors like that for them, even though it's really not a favor because you are doing a service for them and you're getting paid, but it's like a favor and they really appreciate you. So you do want to build those relationships because like one of the companies that I work for, she's like, oh, I just love you so much. And I'm going to tell everybody else about you. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
Sounds like you're very communicative, that you can help her, and you're also showing up in that accuracy. It's easy to talk about, oh, this is a great field inspector. You have a rush? Let me ask Tiffany.
And also, I don't wait for them to send me something. I'll call sometimes and say, hey, I'll be in this area. Do you have anything? And yeah, I have 5. Oh, okay, well, I just went from making $100 to now I'm making 250 because I called and asked. It's so easy to build the relationships with them because they need you.
I love that they need you. And what better way to access or grow that relationship with any other business owner by asking, how can I help your business? How can I help you get things done? And you're helping them get things done by taking those rush orders, helping them in areas that aren't being serviced, that they need someone to go inspect. And you're communicating in advance and telling them, hey, I'm going to be in this area tomorrow. You got anything I can help you take care of over here? You're making it so you're helping their business, not framing it as, hey, what inspections can you give me?
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. And Tiffany, one of my favorite things I learned on our practice session together was that you travel. The part of freedom from this job is that you get to travel. So when you travel, what do you do to prepare to leave town? And are you making money when you're out of town?
Yeah, I absolutely make money. It's, I like to vacation. So if I can make some money while I'm on a vacation, oh, I definitely will because I'm spending money. So I went to Orlando recently and I just call a couple people, or you could even just send them a quick email and say, I'll be in Orlando. Do you have anything? This particular they love zip codes, okay? And counties. So zip codes and counties. Just say, hey, I'll be in this zip code, I'll be in this county. Do you have anything here or near? Because if you do actually give them that particular zip code and then they do have something outside, you can get your out of area fee for that too. So definitely call, contact, make good relationships with these people because they need you and you, of course, you need them because you want their service. You want
Love it.
their business, I mean.
So drop paid vacation in the chat if you want some paid vacations like Tiffany. She's going on vacation and making money in the meantime. If you have extra time on vacation, you want to leisure, spend how many hours while you're on vacation are you working, Tiffany?
Maybe 1 hour, 2 hours max. I don't want to work too much while I'm on vacation, but to make an extra $100 or even $50, it's extra $50 that I didn't have before. So you don't have to spend too much time. Just do one or two, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. A lot of us on vacation, we don't want to think about work. But if you have some extra time before dinner, before breakfast, you're an early riser like me, and I get up at 5 a.m. every time for no reason and I don't need to. I'd love to go make an extra 100 or 200. And I'm going to pay for drinks tonight. I'm going to pay for my dinner tonight and save some money. So I love that. Thanks for sharing that awesome tip. So write that down, everyone. If you're willing to work, you can go ahead, reach out to your contact, reach out to the companies that you're signed up with, let them know, hey, I'm going to be in this zip code. Do you have anything around there you want me to take care of for you? I'm available so I can get those done for you in this time frame. So being really communicative, attention to detail is the best thing that you can do to grow those relationships and get more money while you're on vacation. And I saw a great question in the chat, and I get this a lot. Do you have to be a notary to be a field inspector, Tiffany?
No, absolutely not. But you do need a driver's license.
You need a driver's license and you need a method of transportation to get from point A to point Z. And then some of the different field inspection companies have different form fills. So check out what they're asking for when you sign up. Ones that I've signed up for have rules for California, like you have to get an EIN, which is free through the government website. Do not pay anyone for a EIN. And the last thing is make sure you're checking out their contracts and just staying up to date. If you sign up with someone, commit to signing up with them. Don't just sign up and expect them to give you a bunch of business or just to sit there. Some of them do require you to take action. So you can do this in any state. You can go ahead and do this without a notary commission while you're waiting to get your notary commission, while you're trying to save money to get that printer, to get your commission. You can do this in the meantime or to supplement your income if you're in the middle of marketing, if you have time between appointments, if you have a loan signing appointment 2 hours away, make some money on the way or make some money while you're there on the way back, or if you're going to the grocery store. So there's so many ways you can make an extra 10, an extra 20. And as we learned, it can add up to about 1K if you put a lot of work into it. So I love that you're traveling to like New Orleans, Chicago, Florida. You're visiting all these places. Do you know like how many states you've done field inspections in? Sorry. Do you know how many states you've done field inspections in?
About 6 so far.
Nice. So you've done 6 in 6 different states. You've been able to make money with field inspections. That is awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into what is one free company to start with. So if I want to get started today with field inspections, what's one company that you recommend?
I view it is one of my favorites because it helps with when I'm traveling. You don't have to call anyone. You don't have to email anyone. The location is already there. So like, say for instance, if I just go to Chicago right now, all I have to do is open the app, and then all of the inspections in my area that I'm in right now, it'll pop up. So you don't even have to talk to anybody.
Nice. So it's a simple app. I went ahead and dropped the link in the chat. It's spelled IV as in Victor, U, E as in elephant, I as in IT, and T as in Tom. Is that correct?
Yes.
So interesting. It's not I view it. I dropped the link in the chat, everyone. It has interesting spelling. So you can click on that link and learn more about that application. Thanks for sharing that, Tiffanee. I'm happy to hear that's your favorite one. And what are the steps to signing up? How easy is it to sign up?
It's easy as just downloading the app and putting your name, your address, phone number, email, all that stuff. Simple, basic information, and you're signed up.
Awesome. And then they show you exactly what they're looking for as well. When you get an assignment, how detailed is this app to help me get things done?
Their instructions are very detailed. They let you know every single thing that they are looking for. And they also, so say for instance, you go and do it and then you forget, easy mistake. They let you know, they give you a heads up and allow you the time to go back and get whatever you missed so you can make your money.
Awesome. So I don't have to have my heart skip a beat when I submit
No.
it and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to input this. They're looking out for me. They want to make sure they get what they need. So they give you a chance, and they're very kind about it, but we don't want to make that a habit, everyone. We want to get that attention to detail. But that's a really great insight to working with iViewIt. I always like to recommend for anyone who's looking to sign up with a new company, a service, check out the customer service, ask them questions. They want you as a fields inspector. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. So the last thing I want to end this session with before we get into live Q&A is, what are some tips you have for getting more fields inspections with iViewIt?
They have like a rating. They go by percentages, so you want to make sure when you do commit to it, you go all the way through. Do not commit to something that you absolutely cannot do. They want to make sure that you can do it and be on time. So that goes back to what we discussed prior, just making sure you get it done accurately and on time. And then they'll put you in rotation. They'll give you, they also have a preferred viewers. So when you do your first 6, you will have the opportunity to book that inspection 30 minutes, just all to yourself. Then they allow other people to book. So once you become preferred viewer, then you can book immediately.
And it just takes 6 appointments to get that preferred viewer badge. And I'm sure that sets you apart from the rest because you're willing to do 6. Some people don't even do 1. So
Right.
you're getting first pick at these field inspections, which is great. As you'll sign up for more, you'll notice, you might be waiting for approval. You might be the backup, but it sounds like with iView, they're prioritizing those field inspectors that consistently show up on time and get things done right. So when it comes to accepting when you're 100% confident, I want everyone to understand they tell you when they need this done. Look at your calendar, see, am I 100% confident I can complete this, or am I 50% confident? If it's a 50, don't take it. If it's the 100%, yes, I can do this. It's in my calendar now, take it. But don't waste the company's time saying you're going to have it, then canceling last minute. That's how you can definitely grow your relationship, by being 100% confident you show up for every single one. So we have, accepting it when you're 100% ready, working with the algorithm. You know that you have to get 6 to get preferred. Work it so you can get more, being on time and accurate and following that due date. The last thing I want to talk about is tips for a higher payout. So we talked about the main general things you can do with any company to get a higher payout. What I heard during this conversation is they need you as a field inspector. So how do you leverage that to get a higher payout?
Most times it's just simple as asking. Obviously they want you, if they send it to you, they want you to complete the inspection. So if it's a little bit further than what you're comfortable with, just don't be afraid to ask for more money. Know your worth. That is very important in this business because although, you can make a lot of money, a lot of companies will try to lowball you too. So you want to know your worth and let them know, hey, you want to pay $10, can you do 20? And it is simple as that. It is just simple.
Yep, just ask. Maybe no one else has asked yet. Maybe no one will take this assignment. And the fact that you did take that chance and ask, you just made an extra $12, $20 versus if you just accepted what they're giving out and are taking that extra mileage, you might make $12, $20 less than you could have. So I love that you're saying just ask. The answer is already the base pay. It doesn't hurt to ask, and maybe they'll negotiate with you. At least
Yeah.
give yourself room to get a higher payout. So that's a really great advice. And what if I'm a notary who's scared to go out there? I'm terrified to do one of these contact where I have to give the letter on the door. I understand that I have to put confidential on there, tape it, and then take a picture even of proof that I did it. What would you say to me so I can get that done today?
Just do it. You'll get over the hump, like when you actually do it. Like once you realize how easy it is, how quick it is, like you'll feel so much more confident after the fact. You'll never know if you just don't try.
How
So
did
just do
you
it.
feel doing your first one? I love hearing that from you. Just do it. But I'd love to know, how did you get past it? How did you feel during your first one?
My first one, luckily, was a no contact. I believe the property was vacant anyways. So I made sure my camera was ready, instead of trying to fiddle around with my phone, my camera was already just prepared and ready to take the photos. It was 6 photos for $20 in my area. So I just went out there, just check the scene, make sure, everything is okay, and just took the pictures. And sometimes I'll just pull off down the street to submit it. If it is like an occupied property, a no contact with someone in it, that's usually like a bankruptcy. And they may come out and you just absolutely do not make contact if they don't want you to. So sometimes you can just pull down the street to finish the report. If feel, I did see a comment that asks if you feel safe. So if you don't feel safe, just go ahead and pull off.
I love that in the field inspection appointments, they prioritize your safety. They tell you
Yes.
exactly what to do. If they suspect that you're a field inspector for some of them, or if someone asks you, what are you doing? They have a script for you and they tell you exactly what to do. They tell you just leave the premises, and then you just put that in your report. You still get paid for showing up to that appointment and getting the work done. They needed someone to go out there, and they tell you exactly what to do in those scenarios. How do you stay safe, Tiffanee?
Like I said just a second ago, I always check the scene. You just look around, because you do want to make sure there's no dogs out there. If you do have to get out, you don't want to see a dog when you go out there. So just look around, make sure you feel safe. $10 is not worth your safety. So in any event that you don't feel safe, like you said, take a picture. If you see a dog, you can take a picture of the dog and you'll still get paid because you did actually show up, and it's not your fault that the dog is there. So just always make sure you are aware of your surroundings.
Awesome. Oh, great tips. So I hope everyone hears that. Just do it. Break that feeling of feeling afraid. They need your services and they don't like starting over with new people. Is that right, Tiffanee? They like working with the same people over and over that give them that consistent, accurate report.
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely.
And then if you can, get in bulk. That is definitely a game changer for Tiffanee. Tiffanee, how much are some of the companies paying you in bulk, and how many assignments are they giving you?
I would say between 10 to 15. Those will be the ones I would have like 300 or 400. And then also, this is something that you could get into. If you do have bulk and you can't complete them all, you hire subcontractors.
Sounds like a signing service almost, right? You have an influx of clients and customers. You can start outsourcing those to subcontractors, so other field inspectors, and help them get business, help them get experience, and you're still supplementing your income. So what an awesome all kinds of tips today. If everyone can give a round of applause to Tiffanee for sharing, how she's making maximum $10,000 a month with fields inspections. Thank you so much, Tiffanee, for sharing all of that advice today. Can I ask if you had to give one tip or say something to someone on this call who's afraid to sign up, but they really want to supplement their income, get that freedom like yourself, what would you say to them?
I would say, again, just do it because you want to be free. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, I get it. Yes, we sometimes have to work 9 to 5s, but if you don't have to, don't. Like, I can literally go out and make what I would make in a day working in an office somewhere. I can make that and have my snacks on the road, listen to my jams. So just do it. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be out enjoying the breeze, let the window down, enjoy your life while you can, because you could also travel. So just do it.
Love it. So if you're gonna just do it, drop it in the chat right now. Just do it. I want your commitment. I want to hold you accountable. If this sounds like you can do this, if you could spend 5 minutes of your day or set apart an hour to make sure that you read all your instructions, do the appointment for a minute, submit it accurately, drop a just do it in the chat because I want to hold you accountable. I was able to do it. Tiffanee's able to do it. You can do it too. Let's go. Thank you for an awesome session, Tiffanee. If anyone has any questions or wants to reach out to you, Tiffanee, what's the best way to contact you?
My email is premiernotary&inspections@gmail.
Awesome. I know the chat is going crazy right now. I'm dropping it in the chat and I'll continue to drop your email in the chat for anyone who wants to reach out to you. Let's go ahead and start live Q&A. So get in line to ask Tiffanee a question. Today, we're going to stop this session at 2 o'clock just to respect our speaker's time. So I want to make sure get in line quick. You know how fast the line adds up. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button with the smiley face. Click reactions and click raise hand to get in line to ask Tiffanee a question. Let's go ahead and start with Pamela. Pamela, thanks for joining us today. What is your biggest question?
She was mentioning that she does work in other states, and I wanted to know, I'm a previous tax person. When she makes income from other states on her taxes, is she given a different form for income from that state, or is the company based where she is, where her home is? I basically want to know, are you going to be paying taxes in other states as well?
Yeah, you would pay taxes for the other states.
Okay, and then you said that your fees changed. How do you determine what your fees are? I mean, where did you just say, oh, $10?
A lot of the companies ask, what's your fee? Right. So you could always just throw out your fee and then they try to negotiate with you. It's okay to negotiate, but they will ask you, what would you like to be paid?
So what's a fair price then?
It just really depends on what you're doing. But like $10 to $15 if you're just taking like 5 pictures, 6 pictures in your area. Just remember, do not travel too far if you're only getting paid, the $10 to $15. Make sure it's in a close distance to you.
That like within 25 miles, 20 miles?
I wouldn't do $10 for 20 miles. That would be too far. You're not really benefiting unless you have at least like 7, 8, 9, 10, if you have more out 20 miles, then yes, but please do not drive 20 miles for $10.
Okay, I got you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great question, Pamela. That was perfect because I love that point that Tiffanee just emphasized. Don't travel too far for such a small payout, but if so, maximize that opportunity. Get 5 or 6 or 7 appointments to make it $100 so it makes that $10 worth it. For example, I took an assignment that was to go look for something in a store, went out of my way 5 minutes, and it was just a little frustrating. I wasn't able to get it done. There's just so many. And I realized that that low payout for 5 minutes wasn't worth it. But if I was like, okay, I can make $10 or $25 with my time, that 5 minutes was worth it. And it was only about less than 10 miles away. So maximize the opportunities and don't know your worth. I love how Tiffanee said, just know your worth. Your worth is more than 25 miles for $10, but you can maximize it 25 miles for $120. So great.
Oh,
point.
I also do want to speak on that. If you do travel 20 miles, contact the other companies that you're working with. So you can do multiple inspections for multiple companies. So that way you are truly maximizing the dollar.
And the way to say that, Tiffanee, also you mentioned in our previous call, is just mention you're going out to the area. Don't mention you're doing other field inspections, so that you can ask for that distance pay from
Absolutely.
them as well. You don't want to let them know someone else is paying for that distance. You want to say, hey,
Yep.
you need me to go out here. Then multiple companies are going to paying you the distance pay. So you're going to make maybe $100 just distance, and then continue to maximize for each appointment.
Yes, it's none of their business if you're making money with someone else.
Fire tip. Love that one. Thanks for sharing. And we have Miss Edwards. Miss Edwards, thanks for joining us today. What is your question?
Can you hear me? Okay, so actually last week, Wednesday, I went to do an inspection. And they had the thing on the gate where you had to put the combination in to find the key. Well, the lockbox, yes. And it was so horrible, especially on the outside of the place. So when I went to try to go inside, the door was ajar to where you can see that this building needs to be demolished instead of having pictures taken. So I let them know that I really didn't feel comfortable or safe, but I was so happy there was no key to be able to get in. So they told me just take the pictures of the outside. So I did all the pictures on the outside, and they do the Google Drive to drop the pictures or whatever. So after I got home, they informed me that, well, there actually is no key, but it's a way to open the lockbox to get it off the gate. So after I told y'all how bad it looked on the inside, so they, well, we'll give you some extra money. The first pay was pretty good. The second pay, we'll give you some more money. So I decided I'm not going in there by myself, because I don't want to, this man that drove up said he has been trying to buy this property, which has been vacant for 2 years. And he told me the floors are buckled and, this, that, and the other. So I said, okay, I'm going to try to do this for this company so that they can give me more jobs, but I'm not going by myself. And if the person I took, if he says it's not safe to go in, I'm not going in. So whatever y'all want to do, don't give me that money, but give me the money for the first day, but don't give me the money for the second day. So we did finally go in there. We got in, he got the lockbox off the gate. And I mean, it was like horrible. It's like all the ceiling and walls were on the floor. You couldn't get in the basement, but I did as careful as I could. And I gave them so many more pictures than they wanted, because it's like, who wants to buy this? Demolish it. So is there a case like that where I know you was talking about feeling safe. Have you ever turned down a job because you don't feel safe? And then what happened with the payment?
Well, I went into a rundown property before, and this was actually recently. And I just told them, I took the pictures that I could take, but when I went further into the property, I told them that it was absolutely not safe. So they need to get the property preservation team out there. So if that company has a property preservation team, then just make the suggestion for them to come out and try to fix the floor or something where you can walk safely and feel safe. Your safety is important regardless of what company it is.
Exactly. And that was my thing. And when he went and checked, and he let me know where you can come and take pictures. And we were so dusty, like we just rolled over in all the ceiling and all that stuff, the plaster and whatever that fell down. And then they wanted pictures of the basement. You couldn't even get down there because everything was so piled up. But I still did what I can do. They still haven't responded. Hey, well, the picture's enough or whatever. So now my second question is, well, what you just said about the low payment, because I get a lot of jobs from what's it called, fuel source or source something, where they have a lot of inspections. And like you said, they have, like it may be $17 and you want me to go to Indiana. I'm in Chicago. So I'm not going that far. So now I know that I can negotiate with them. I will go that far, but the money has got to be worth it. It can't just be wasted gas money. It's got to be worth it for me to go out there. And then, like you said, like get all those jobs that are in the same area, to take. I appreciate that. So I just learned something.
And also, speaking on getting multiple properties in other areas, I use like routing apps to make sure my route is like optimized enough for me to not have to spend so much gas and not have to spend so much time, and you're not driving around just crazy. So also, you always want to get a routing app. Is plenty of routing apps out there, so when you have multiple, it'll be so easy for you.
All right, that's good to know. Get a routing app, because a lot of jobs, like I say, they send from Indiana. I'm like across the street from Indiana, but I'm not across the street that much that I'm going to take $10 to drive there. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question. I'm so glad you were safe during that appointment as well. So thank you so much for sharing your experience.
I wasn't going back by myself. If y'all want me to try to do this, because now you're telling me how to get in, I'm not going back by myself, because somebody got to tell the story, So.
Oh, and I do want to speak on that part right there. So a lot of the companies do not want you taking other people with you. So if you just so happen to take somebody with you, don't mention that to them. Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure you don't mess yourself up.
They don't know, but I did have to, pay him to do this, and it's not like that. It was so important for me to do this. I'm just trying to get some stuff on the books, you know what I mean? To get more jobs. But I know what to and what not to accept. But I did not tell them that somebody went with me.
Okay, yeah. And you don't need to be paying people either, because you are doing this to make money. You're not doing this for them.
I know, but the person I know I can take, well, he had just got off work and came to meet me to do this for me. So I'm not going to let you do this for free.
Right, I got you.
But why would they, if you want to feel safe about something, I mean, what would be the problem with them knowing you taking somebody?
You have to have a background check when you're dealing with the mortgage companies, insurance companies. Okay. So they don't want random people, because sometimes, like, me working in property management for 12 years, I see people steal hot water tanks and furnaces and air conditioning units and pipes, all types of things, windows. So they are sending you there because you've done a background check, because they feel safe and secure with you. But other people, you don't ever want to let them know that, even if you do take, somebody.
Okay, I didn't and I won't.
Great tips. I love that insight. Thank you so much, Tiffanee and Miss Edwards. Wayne, thanks for joining us today. What is your question for Tiffanee?
Well, so you answered my main question was, would you be able to do this out of state? Because I know I'm going to be traveling to some other states, and I was going to see if I could pick up something while I'm out there. So I guess now my question is, what supplies do you need when you do this? Like, I would imagine you don't need to take a printer and, scanner and all that kind of stuff, but is everything done on your phone app?
So the only tools that I've ever had to use was like a selfie stick, but this is not with every inspection. This is for like insurance inspections. You use a selfie stick, raise it up to take pictures of the roof, and then you want to measure around with a measuring wheel. All these things you get on Amazon. So that's only if you're doing insurance ones. None would be for mortgage companies where they just want you to do the drive-bys or the occupancy checks. Just insurance.
So do you know, when you pull up the information, what type of job it is, or do you have to kind of like agree to it and then they tell you what it is?
No, you don't have to agree to it, unless you want to. They give you pretty good instructions, descriptions to let you know what you'll be getting yourself into, because they don't want you to accept and then renege on it. You know what I'm saying? So they want to give you the information up front, so you'll know if you want to accept it or decline it.
Okay. And then one more question. What's your favorite routing app that you use?
I use Road Warrior. I think they give about maybe 10 for free, and then you can do $10 a month, and then you can do like around 115.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome questions, Wayne. Thank you so much for asking that. Really great question as well, which one she uses. I dropped a link in the chat. I just found the Road Warrior app. And I also dropped the app that I like to use. It's a free routing app from Google. It's connected with your Google account, so it saves all the addresses and routes you make. So there's so many options out there for routing maps. Use the one that works best for you. I love, Tiffany, that you shared your favorite. I shared mine in the chat.
I got one more question. So I'm in Michigan also. So is there are there certain companies that are mostly for Michigan, or do you have like a group of companies that you could name to apply for that, work exclusively with Michigan?
Not necessarily. Most companies that I work with are nationwide.
Okay. All right.
Great question,
All right,
Wayne.
thank you.
And also for anyone looking for more companies to sign up with, I got something in-house for you. Next week, Amaryllis is going to be joining us on Complete Notary Mentorship with an interview. She's going to drop 12 field inspection companies she signed up with and how her experience was with each of those, so you can find which ones you like. She's going to talk about national and local companies. So I will see you next week. If you want more companies to sign up with, we're going to give you a whole list of 12. So I look forward to sharing that information with you next week. The next question we have up in line is from Michelle. Michelle, thanks for joining us today. What is your question?
Hi, Zoe. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you so much. So how many companies are you signed up with in order to maintain this level of income for yourself?
I work with about 50 companies.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I was going to ask, do you have a list of preferred companies that you work with? But Zoe, we're going to have that next week. And then how long does it typically take you to get paid?
Well, working with so many different companies, they're all pretty different. Some companies, like someone mentioned on here, Proxy Picks, they can pay out same day if you do everything correctly. And then just however your bank pays out, if they can pay you the same day or maybe next day. Some like the 5th and the 25th, some monthly, some 45 days, some weekly, some use PayPal, direct deposit. What else? Oh, and some send out checks. I hate those. Direct deposit me, please.
Okay. All right. That's all I had. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great questions. Thanks for joining us, Michelle. Miss K in the house. What is your question today?
What's going on, Zoe? Appreciate you. Appreciate the presentation. A couple questions already been answered, but I can narrow it down. Kind of as like a two-part. I think you said if you do it for like when you're on vacation, because I travel a lot, of course. So if I want to pick up some extra cash or something while I'm out, you said like they will send in, if you're working for the same company, would they send in the information that you need for like working in a different state for that specific company? Or
yes, they'll send you the tax information when it's tax time.
okay. And I guess you can kind of like have it set up with whatever company that you're going with, how you wish to be paid, or is that kind of like a generic, like each company has their own specifications?
Most companies have two options, direct deposit or check. A few companies just strictly pay checks. So sometimes you will get the option to choose, and sometimes you don't.
Okay. If now let me ask also, because it was like a situation like how do you make yourself aware just to make sure it's not something that you're wasting your time on, like it's a legit company that you're working for? Like, what are some of the things that you look at to make sure, because you have so many people post stuff and it can look like a real website and then put your information in and it'd be like a scam. How do you make yourself aware of those type of situations?
Well, I've been stung a couple times during my journey. I've been doing a couple inspections and then don't be paid and then never hear from them again. So I'm a big review checker. Okay.
Mhm.
Check reviews on Google.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for your time and your knowledge that you dropped. My last and favorite thing, what is one takeaway that you would say for a new person starting out that literally, like a mistake that if you can do it all over again, you wish you was aware of it before you started?
The checking the reviews, because if I did check the reviews before I did the inspections and didn't get paid, I would have never did. So please, please, please check reviews on any company that you work with, and check beyond the 5 stars, this 5 stars that. Keep looking down. Scroll down, because you might get some fake reviews. So just check reviews, please.
Thank you so much for your time and thank you for the presentation. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kay. Appreciate that. We have Nicole in the house. Thanks for joining us, Nicole. What is your question?
So my question is, because I like training, so what particular person or company would you sign up that offers a little bit of training?
Proxy Picks, they have a little bit of training. Before they send you out, they'll give you like some questions to answer, the information to read. They just want to make sure that you can do it and you understand what you're going to do. So I love it. I screenshot most of the things when I first started, because I like to have that information on hand, so you can always review it just in case you do get a little scared while you're out. You just pull up your screenshots and see, okay, I did do it right, or they are looking for this and that. So a lot of the companies offer training. So it doesn't hurt to ask. They may have videos. They may just have a trainer who will do like a Zoom with you to show you what to do, how to get started and signed up and stuff. So yeah, YouTube will definitely help you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nicole. Great question. We have Trish. Thanks for joining us, Trish. What is your question?
Hi, Zoe. Sorry, everyone. My camera is not working for some reason. Thanks, Tiffany, for the training, and just a couple of questions. I know you mentioned that a background check is required. What about fingerprinting, or do they also require like a separate bond of any type?
No, I haven't had to be fingerprinted from any of the companies. A lot of the companies do require you to have insurance, E&O insurance or general liability insurance. They just want to make sure they're protected in case you give like the wrong address, because sometimes you may be on the wrong street, and then now you said this property is vacant, and then they send the property preservation team and they kick down the door and it was the wrong house. So then you will be held responsible for that. So they do require insurance.
Okay, can we use our current E&O insurance and our background from the NNA to show them?
For some companies, well, for all companies, you can use your current insurance, but for some companies, they require their own background checks.
Okay. Okay, and do they pay for those background checks or do they make you pay for the background checks?
I've never paid for a background check because I did submit the one from NNA. The only thing that they will have you pay for is like your ABC number, Aspen Grove. That's like the ultimate background check for inspections and property preservation.
Okay, thanks. And my other question is, when you said about the distance pay, you said $25 per house, and what's the other $25 for?
For my travel, my out of area fee.
Got you. Thanks, Tiffany. Thanks,
You're
Zoe.
welcome.
Great question, Trish. I went ahead also and submitted background check, and it was able, like some companies say, if you already have one, send it to us and we'll let you know if this has all the information they are looking for. I did submit one from one company and then submitted it to another, and they said, oh, we're missing one part. You just need to get that background for us. So I did have to pay out of pocket, but I made that money back in one assignment. So if you do have to pay for a background check, which is maximum $30, which I found, then you can make that money back in 2 assignments. So I hope that doesn't stop anyone from signing up for one. The background check is very easy. It took a day to process, and it was through secure websites. So great question, Trish. We have Mondeza. I saw your name in your awesome introduction. Help me pronounce your name and what is your question today? I think it's Mondez. You can hear me. Number 244666680. All right. If you don't unmute your mic, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Just let me know when you're ready. Shanice, thanks for joining us today. What is your question, Shanice?
Hi, Zoe. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you doing today? What is your biggest question?
I'm great. How are you guys? It's probably going to be handled next time. I just wanted to know what was, first of all, Tiffany, thank you so much for all the fire that you've dropped. It's been awesome, 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 awesome. I've been doing inspections for a few years, and I'm excited to know that there are so many people out here doing it too. What is your top, I want to ask for your top 5, but what's your top 3?
Top 3 what?
Companies.
The proxy picks, I view it. I do actually like We Go Look as well. Because We Go Look, you can actually do the car transports where you get paid $100, $150 just for picking somebody's car up and driving it to the car lot.
Yeah, I had one of those that I had signed up with, but it was weird because I'm in Jersey, and it was, I think I had to drive. The dealership was about an hour away, and then the car was located in New York, which was about 2 hours from the dealership. And the owner was like, yeah, that car's not going to drive 2 hours. So I haven't done one of those yet, but I'm looking forward to doing the transport. But thank you so much, Tiffany. Thanks, Zoe.
You're welcome.
Great question. Thanks for joining us today. And we have Mondeze. Is that how you pronounce your name? Awesome.
Yes,
Thanks
Mondeze.
for joining us. Beautiful name. Welcome to our field inspection session today. What is your biggest question for Tiffany?
My biggest question, I'm wondering, like, what's the latest inspection you've done? Like, how often, like, what's the latest that they're usually available in the day?
So there is a specific type of inspection, which they call a nighttime inspection, where you can do it at night when it's dark. But for the most part, you always want to make sure you get it done in the daytime. It could be 8 p.m., but as long as it's still daylight, because they want to be able to see what's going on with the property. So a nighttime inspection, you can do it at 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever time. They're just trying to make sure those are usually they want to make sure it's lit up. They want to check the lighting. They want to check the signage and make sure, the signs look good, make sure it's well lit at night. So yeah, you can get a nighttime inspection and go out later in the evening.
Appreciate it. That's all I had.
Great question. Thanks for joining us today. And I'd love to add to that. I was able to look for ones that were certain times that work best for me. As you know, I'm here with you every single day. And so I had to pick was able to find inspections that don't work for my time and do work for my time. Some are like only complete after 3 to 11 p.m. That worked great for me. Then I saw some that only complete from 2 to 4 p.m. I know I can't do those ones. I'm confident I can't. So there's going to be multiple time frames. They tell you that in the details before you accept the assignment. So you're confident you can work that time frame. So great question. Thanks for asking. Jin, thanks for joining us today. What is your question?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm questioning, my question is not questioning. I have a question about if you want to put the whole package together, right? We're on the mentorship program. Most of us are LSA. You said yourself you do loan signings. I heard you say that you sometimes either have worked with or worked for mortgage companies. Do you have any experience with leveraging that relationship, doing field inspections into doing loan signing work? Or is that kind of a big no-no? You just kind of have to keep, your field inspections, and your loan signings.
They usually don't like cross-reference. You're specifically talking to this one company or one part of the company. They're not going to they're pretty much not going to know anything about that part of the company. So even with the property preservations, like the inspections part, they know nothing of that side of it. So you're never going to cross mingle.
It's good to know. All right, thank you.
Awesome question. That was really great. Is there any way that you leverage when you meet with the business owners, when you're doing the business verifications? Is there any cross mingling that happens there? What does that look like?
I usually have my cards available because it's not like they're saying, you can't, pass your business cards, because when you are doing the business verification, you're meeting with the actual business owners. So you do want to take your business cards and let them know you are a notary and, whatever other services you have. And maybe you guys can build a business relationship like that and you become their notary.
Awesome. Thanks for drawing that out. So I want to let everyone know, clarify what we just discussed. So Jen asked a great question. We're doing these inspections for mortgage companies, for banks, for loans. We're not communicating with the bank or mortgage company directly. They don't know who the field inspector is at the field inspections happening. This is happening through a middleman, which is the field inspection company. So that's your direct client. But let's say you get a certain assignment that's not just a exterior non-occupancy. You get a specific one that you're meeting with a business owner. That's your opportunity, because you have to ask the business owner questions. You're going to book an appointment to see, okay, what's a good time for me to show up so I could do the inspection. That is the time that she passes out her business card, because she's directly working with the business owner right there. She can mention, hey, here's my card. I'm also a notary if you need anything. But also when you're working with them, you identify yourself. Hey, I'm the field inspector. You show them your ID. You can show them that business card. So there is room for cross mingling and for specific opportunities when you're working in person with the client, not marketing around the middleman, which they definitely don't want. So great question, Jen. Let's go ahead and go to Kay and then Pamela. Kay, what is your next question?
I just had one question that came to mind. I thought I put it in chat, but it was asking, like, what is your top 3 companies to get started if you're not a notary that you'll suggest just to gain the experience to learn how to do it correctly? What would be the
I View It, the Proxy Picks, and then the We Go Look. Those are all apps that you can use. You don't even have to talk to anybody when you get signed up with those.
Okay.
Great question. Thank you so much, Kay. And I'll go ahead and drop those links in the chat as well. We said I View It, Proxy Picks, and We Go Look. Great question. And last, Pamela, Celeste, then Deb, and we'll go ahead and end this session. So Pamela, what is your next question?
You mentioned business cards. Do you have separate business cards for the inspection? And do you have a separate EIN for the business, or do you use your notary EIN?
Well, my business is Premier Notary and Inspection Services. Okay. So that way it's just all in one. I'd rather have one business card opposed to 2 and 3, so that way you can see that I'm an inspector and I'm also a notary all on one card. So that's how I try to wrap that up in one ball.
All right, so you just have one EIN then as well.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're
Great
welcome.
question, Pamela. Thank you. Celeste, thanks for joining us today. What is your question?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys for this wonderful information. I don't know if this was asked, but I noticed that a lot of individuals in my group have like a certificate for field inspections. Is that something that we need to have in order to, talk to the companies just to see if we can get on board with that? I wasn't sure.
No, the certificate that actually, the course, it was made by an actual inspections company. It's just to give you pretty much the knowledge that you need. It gives great descriptions of what types of inspections that's out there. That's pretty much all. You don't need it. Nobody will ever ask for it. It's just something for you to have, a trophy for your time, taking the course.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Zoe.
Great question. And Deb, thanks for joining us today. What is your question?
Hey, aloha from Hawaii. Really quick question. It's kind of a two-parter, but it's one question. So here in Hawaii, things are very, very different a lot of the times from the mainland, from whether it's notary work, field inspections, weddings, blah, blah, blah. So here you have to have a certification, which covers the gamut of doing mold, of doing inside home inspections. And most of the time, they require a report also. Have you run into the same where you have to write a report, or are you just submitting pictures? Because I'm really trying to decide if this is for me, because the course is like $700 and nobody around here will work with you without that certification.
Okay, so that's a whole different type of inspection. And a lot of people ask me about that. So we are never testing for mold, asbestos, none of that. We're literally just taking photos, and then we may answer a few questions. So that would be a home inspector, and we are field inspectors. So you don't need a course or anything to do these type of inspections, because we're not examining for like hazards and things like that. So you don't need to spend $700 to get into this. You can do this business for free.
Yeah, well, in Hawaii, to do the field inspection, it's rolled into the home inspection. So like if you don't have it, so it may not be for me because I'm not looking, so I was super excited to hear you come on and talk about that, because for me, there is a difference. There's the field, which is not your home, right? So, well, thank you for that. Thank you for your time.
Well, I would suggest maybe asking some companies that's out there, like she'll come on next week to give a list of companies to work with. I would just suggest reaching out. It doesn't hurt to reach out to see if you have to have that, because you may not.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, thank you again. And again, congratulations on your success and for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Love that question, Deb. I recommend the same thing. Reach out to companies, see if they have a need in your area, and then ask, are there, what are the qualifications to work with them? They know what the restrictions are in the states that they have business in. So it's a really great way to start, to make sure that if there is something, they'll tell you exactly what you need versus you having to do the research yourself as well. I'm sure they want you as a field inspector, so they'll point you in the right direction and make it happen. Awesome. Thank you so much, Deb, for joining us. Well, that concludes it today. Thank you so much, Tiffany. You're amazing. Drop in the chat a thank you if you want to see Tiffany on here again. I hope to bring her on more than once. Tiffany, you've shared a wealth of knowledge with us, and we are so grateful for your time and your expert experience today. I'm going to drop Tiffany's email in the chat one more time. If you want to reach out to Tiffany for any reason, you have access to her email, so you can reach out to her. Tiffany, have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, Zoe, quick question before you leave. Celeste, if she's still on, Celeste Thomas, Can she share the link where she went to just gain the certificate, just the knowledge, just kind of like get a little bit more information?
Absolutely. Celeste, if you're still on here to share that information, just go ahead, drop it in the chat and I'll try to catch it and share it.
That one is mortgagefieldservices.com.
Oh, yep. Let me get that up. Mortgage.
And they actually have, at the end of the course, they have some companies on there as well that you can get signed up with.
Thank you so much. That is so helpful.
I just
Zoe,
dropped
may
the
I say
link.
something?
Absolutely, Pamela.
I just noticed someone in the chat said she heard that notary income is not subject to self-employment. And that's not necessarily a fact. If you're over a certain amount in your income in anything that's 1099 related, it is considered self-employment and you are subject to that self-employment tax. So I just wanted to say that because I do taxes.
I have 11 years of experience. That was me. You are out of practice, correct? Notary, how long have you been out of practice? Because notary income was just updated, what, last year, this year? So that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying it should just be separated for maximizing the tax debt because it's not subject to tax employment income. If you actually go onto any tax software right now, it will ask you if it's notary income so that it can separate the difference. So
the notary income, though, is just keep in mind, it's only that $10 fee per signing or per act. So that's anything other than that.
Right, so that's why I was saying to separate the home inspections from their actual general notary work to maximize their tax liability, that they should be separated for that reason.
All right, I will look into it. Thank you.
Thanks, Pamela. Thanks, Nicole. I appreciate you guys sharing your experiences. And I advise everyone, check with your tax advisor. We do not have any tax advice on here and do not know your tax or what works best for your business. Highly recommend reaching out to a tax advisor, but at least you're aware of these opportunities and great advice. Separate where that money is if you want to be able to calculate how much you're making with field inspections, how much you're making with notary business. So perfect. I'm so glad you guys are sharing and I really appreciate